día más con Naturopatía al Día. Noticias nacionales e internacionales de la ciencia y profesión naturopáticas. Un día más con Naturopatía al Día. Noticias nacionales e internacionales de la ciencia y profesión naturopáticas.
Muy buenas, estamos en Naturopatía al Día y en esta ocasión viajamos de nuevo a Reino Unido para hablar en esta ocasión con Aliyyaa, que es actual presidenta del Consejo y del Registro de Naturópatas de Reino Unido. Y bueno, en esta ocasión me acompaña Sergio Alcalá, que es el traductor del programa Naturopatía al Día. Y bueno, vamos a dar paso a Aliyyaa.
Good morning, this is the Naturopatía al Día, the program. In this opportunity we will interview the President of the General Council and Register of Naturopathy of London, Ms. Aliyyaa, and we will start our interview talking about her point of view of the naturopathy in London. My partner will start to ask the first question, please.
Y como te quería preguntar la primera pregunta, porque hace un par de semanas tuvo lugar en Londres el 6º Congreso Internacional de Naturopatía y bueno, te quería preguntar cuál fue tu impresión y cómo se desarrolló ese evento.
Well, a few weeks ago, the 6th International Congress of Naturopathic Medicine took place in London. What is your impression of the Congress, please?
Okay, well, thank you for having me first and foremost, and for the interview. Thank you both. As you know, we recently had the 6th International Congress here in London. Now, this was the 3rd year that we had the ICNM in London, and for the GCRN, which I'm the president, this is the 3rd year that we were the official partners with the ICNM. And so it was an honor for us to once again be asked to host and partner the ICNM conference. The ICNM conference is a wonderful platform, in my opinion, for myself as a naturopath who practices daily, have my own practice, and also as a president of the GCRN and the British Naturopathic Association. And the reason why I think it's very important is because it's a fabulous platform where we can show the world that naturopathy actually has a seat, and we get together, 500 plus delegates from all over the world, a gathering of like minds, you can say. So it was really, really quite a lovely conference, as always. We have the chair of the ICNM, who is Anna Maria Naboni, and we work closely with her to ensure that we can give them support. And for the last 2 years in London, we hosted the Tea Party, which is a wonderful party at the end of the conference. It's particularly for me important also because it's a place where we can exchange research and knowledge in naturopathy, where we can update what is happening in naturopathy around the world. And I think it gives the naturopaths around the world something to focus on every year and to come together so that they can share, they can exchange with each other, and we just learn, all the different modalities, because everybody practices naturopathy in quite a different way. And so the ICNM gives us that platform to come together and to understand the many different things that we do, and to be updated in our practice throughout the world. And so this is, for me, the impression of the Congress is this is what it means. to the naturopaths who attend. I did the opening speech this year as the president of the GCRN and the BNA, and on diversity and inclusion. And so I had a lot of remarks and feedback on that, and just that everybody was really impressed with the setup, the speakers who were chosen to speak. So all in all, just a fantastic showcase of naturopaths coming together.
¿Qué significa para los naturópatas ingleses el que este congreso haya elegido Londres para desarrollar este sexto congreso? ¿Qué significa que este gran evento haya tenido lugar en Inglaterra?
What does it mean for the English naturopathic professionals to host this great international event? I know that you can explain a little bit more about.
Okay, sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, for the English naturopathic professionals, I think to host this international event is quite significant because here in England, most naturopaths are self-employed. We do have them going into different arenas. And I just think that the fact that we as the GCRN, the General Council of Registered Naturopaths and the British Naturopathic Association, to host and partner, it gives the art and naturopaths here in England a little bit of, how would you say, assurance that naturopathy is the right way to go, that there is a platform for naturopathy, certainly here in Britain, within England. And it's given us, as the GCRN and the BNA, a platform to, you could say, tell everybody about our history. We are an organisation that is nearly 100 years in existence. And we are able to express to others, particularly the English naturopaths, that, a high standard of practice is really important. And so we were really honoured to be asked to do this again, and to be a part of what is a really, really wonderful event that we have here. So, I mean, I think that's mainly what this means to host this event for us here in Britain.
Entrando un poco más en materia, me gustaría preguntarte cómo se regula actualmente la profesión naturopática allí en Reino Unido.
How is naturopathy currently regulated in the United Kingdom?
Well, we're not regulated. Naturopathy, sadly, unlike in Canada and America, it's not regulated here at all. However, as a professional association, which we are, we have for nearly 100 years, since we've been in existence since the 1920s. And what we do have here is the ability to protect the public and practitioners. And certainly, whilst we're not regulated in the United Kingdom, the GCRN and the BNA ensure that our level of members are educated to an extremely high level. And we do ask for a degree level education for all our naturopaths. And that will be a level 6 and a level 7. And another way that we regulate our members is to ensure that if they do not have a degree in naturopathy, then we ask that they have a degree in perhaps another pathway, be this traditional Chinese medicine, it could be nutritional therapy, herbal medicine, and then a conversion course or a diploma in naturopathy, because we feel that to ensure that the public are safe and they have the best practitioners out there, that there must be that high level of education. Otherwise, we cannot, for sure, assuredly say that they're going to get the best out of the practitioner. We, of course, ensure that all our members, they do their yearly CPD, so continuing practitioner development, of which we request 15 hours a year in a variety of different topics that we check on, and it's a case of asking our new potential members to ensure that they comply with the code of ethics and also the complaints procedure that we have in place. So to summarize, whilst we don't, have a regulation, a government regulation here for naturopathy, we as the GCRN and BNA have very high standards, professional standards that we ensure our members stick to, that we do check. And certainly my goal as president currently as the GCRN is to really bring in quite rigorous checks for our members to ensure that they maintain these standards throughout their practice.
¿Y cómo es el plan de estudio de los alumnos de naturopatía allí en Reino Unido?
What are the subjects studied in naturopathy in the United Kingdom?
Right. Well, there has been some change here in the United Kingdom in that for instance, myself, I'm a degree-educated naturopath, and we have quite a few of us here in the UK. So the many topics that we would have trained in would have been, pathophysiology, differential diagnosis, perspectives in complementary medicine, the standard biochemistry and phytochemistry, because we had to learn about the herbs, anatomy, physiology, there's therapeutic relationships, principles of naturopathy and clinical therapeutics. Obviously, the different aspects that we cover in clinical therapeutics would include things like emotional freedom technique, lymphatic drainage, iridology, Bach flower remedies, castor oil packs, aromatherapy, just to name a few. And then things such as research methods to ensure that we know how to read the research paper and that it's really valid before we move forward with that. And just clinical observation and clinical practice and body work. We were privileged as members of the University of Westminster to train under the great Leon Chater, who sadly passed away recently. And it was an honor to be taught by him, as well as other great body workers such as Mark Gray and Justin. So those were the standard lessons at the University of Westminster degree course. But what's happening now in the UK is that the only course that we accredit currently is the course at the British College of Osteopathic Medicine in North London. Now, this is a course that it was initially the College of Naturopathy and Osteopathic Medicine. So even though they've dropped the title naturopathy, they still have a diploma. And so that entails quite a bit. So of course they have the osteopathic elements to it, but the naturopathic modules that come in would be nutrition and biochemistry, of course your standard anatomy and physiology, principles of naturopathy, clinical theory and observational diagnosis. Then there is clinical nutrition and dietetics, pathology, the differential diagnosis, research methodology, again, will always be there, and of course clinical practice and the practice management, ethics and audit. The clinical practice for me is something that is really important because there are a lot of other courses, diplomas around, and there are many that do not have the clinical aspect. And so it's something that we are really, really hot on here in the UK as the GCRN and BNA, that members do have clinical hours where they've got 4 years experience of patients coming in, the public coming in into a clinical environment, and they observe and then they learn to treat. And so that is a very, very big aspect for us to know before you send a practitioner out, that they do know how to deal with people and it's not just all theory. And so those are just, you know, some of the topics that we have to learn here in the UK to qualify as a fully fledged naturopath.
Haciendo un breve repaso por la historia, hay que recordar que la naturopatía entra en Europa precisamente en Reino Unido, concretamente en Edimburgo, en Escocia, donde JJ Thomson, en 1911, abre el primer centro de naturopatía. Luego, posteriormente, en 1920, ya se constituye el Consejo General y Registro de Naturópatas, el cual Aliyyaa es actualmente la presidenta, ¿no? Y hay que decir también que es el organismo más antiguo de toda Europa respecto a los naturópatas, ¿no?
Naturopathy begins in Europe in 1911, specifically in Edinburgh, in Scotland, where J.J. Thomson opened the first center on naturopathy. Later, in 1920, the General Council and Register of Naturopathic is created, which is the most older body registered in Europe. What powers does the Council and General Registry of Naturopathy currently have?
Okay, right. Well, we don't possess any real power here in the UK in the sense of in a government way, or as I say, as being regulated. We don't have that. The powers that we have really is over our own membership, in the sense that, you know, we represent our members, we can expel our members. They have to attain a standard of practice, and we have the power of that at the moment. And it's, you know, it's I think it was in the 1920s when we really saw the, you know, this huge explosion of pharmaceutical companies coming into play, and less so of natural medicines. And I do know it was Bayer, who are absolutely massive, and founded in 1863. They were a dye maker in Wuppertal in Germany. And it was this company that became one of the most successful pharmaceutical companies. And so we saw a huge divide in where, particularly as the GCRN was a very large company, we lost a lot of our members and a lot of our, you know, our abilities to lobby the government at that time. But what we have done in the last year is we became a member of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Integrated Healthcare, which is based in Westminster. It's a 30-year running group in Westminster in Parliament. And it's, you know, it's a very well-supported all-party group. And it basically is creating policy for alternative medicine. And when I say alternative medicine, it's not specifically naturopathy. They are bringing in everybody. They're bringing in the acupuncturists, they're bringing in the homeopaths, nutritional therapists. So it's right across the board. It's all complementary medicine. And so we are hoping with joining this group that moving forwards, certainly when the government will sit up and pay attention to naturopathy or complementary medicine, that we do have a seat at the table and we're involved in decision making, and certainly, you know, having an impact on naturopathy. We are the only naturopathic group who are part of this parliamentary group at Westminster. And so, you know, we ensure that we will have a say in the future of naturopathy here in the UK. And the other group that we are a member of is the World Naturopathic Federation, and we have representatives there. So we've placed ourselves in a very good position where we will have an impact in the what I hope is the near future for naturopathy worldwide.
¿Cuál es tu visión? ¿Cómo ves la naturopatía en Europa y concretamente en España?
Well, how is your vision about naturopathic profession in Europe and particularly in Spain?
I think, obviously, as a collective, the GCRN and the BNA Council, you know, we are working really hard for a united, to be united in education and regulation across Europe and, of course, throughout Spain. And I think we need to share things such as research. We really need to be, you know, in constant contact. collectively, we all agree it would be fantastic if Spain could follow the lead of Portugal and ensure that a law is passed that allows the government to recognise naturopaths in Spain. And so this is something that we really do hope for. You know, we're working with the European Naturopathic Association, you know, so that we can all be on an equal platform across Europe and recognised equally on the same platform. I understand this is going to take a lot of time, but it's a work in practice, and it's something that we're dedicated to doing over the coming years, for sure.
Bueno, la Asociación de Naturópatas de Reino Unido forma parte, está dentro, como miembro de pleno derecho de la World Naturopathic Federation. Y te quería preguntar, bueno, ¿qué objetivos, qué retos crees que tiene pues, el Comité Europeo de la Naturopatía, Europa, a corto o medio plazo con respecto a la profesión naturopática?
What objectives do you think the European Naturopathy Council should have in the near future, in short and in medium term?
Okay, the European Naturopathic Council. I think short term, the European Naturopathic Association, which we are obviously all a member of, should definitely continue the work to set European-wide standards in naturopathy, as I said previously. I think that's an absolute must in the short term, that we establish that. You said in the medium term, what should, you know, the future focus be? I believe that the objective of naturopathy is that we should be considered a healthcare profession in Europe, which we're not currently. We're not considered a healthcare profession. And I know certainly here with the Advertising Standards Agency in the UK, if we mentioned, you know, healthcare, they said, oh, you can't say that. And so I think we really need to establish that across the board to set an example. And I think we should aim to have naturopaths integrated into primary healthcare throughout Europe. And I think that's the place where we need to be. I think certainly here in the UK, we have the ability to shoulder some of the responsibility that our National Health Service is evidently struggling with right now. And I think we can really support our GPs here to help the public, patient-centered healthcare, you know, but it's going to take time, and we're aware of that again, but certainly in the short term, as I said, you know, we must set that European-wide standards. That has to happen.
Pues bueno, te queríamos dar las gracias. Ha sido un placer el que estés con nosotros en este programa Naturopatía al Día y que nos cuentes bueno, cómo está la naturopatía actualmente en Inglaterra, en el Reino Unido. Y como digo, bueno, pues espero que nos emplacemos a próximas entrevistas y que no sea la última. Y bueno, como digo, muchas gracias por estar con nosotros en Naturopatía al Día.
Well, thank you very much for your time, for your patience, for everything. We hope that is the first contact, this first interview is just the beginning. Mm-hmm. We hope to create bonds and to share between the Spanish Naturopathic Association and the London Naturopathic Association Council, and hoping to develop this profession across this whole continent, Europe.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for asking to interview me. It's been a complete pleasure speaking with you both. And I certainly look forward to more collaboration with the Spanish Naturopathic Association. I think it's the way forward. I think more things such as this, you know, and we can do the same, you know, and interview you, and so our members can see also, would be fantastic, you know. So thank you very much for your time and for this interview. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so.
Un día más con Naturopatía al Día. Noticias nacionales e internacionales de la ciencia y profesión naturopáticas.